In this episode of Comic Book Savant, I'm going to give you guys some recommended reads on Aquaman. Welcome back to the Comic Book Savant YouTube channel. I'm your host, James Harris. This episode, wanted to do something a little bit different because sometimes I get questions because I do so many different movie reviews and cover so many different comic book related stuff. I never do recommended reads. I do some recommendations a lot of times if you guys ask me in the comments, or also I do full-on episodes on my podcast where I recommend books, but I haven't translated it over to the YouTube channel. So I wanted to do that since we have so many comic book movies coming out this year. I wanted to start a new series here called Recommended Reads. So this is for a movie that already came out, of course, but I'm going to keep this going and I'm going to start releasing these a little bit of time before the movie will release. So if you're curious about what source material that the movie is being based off of loosely, that I will have a little episode that gives you these recommendations for you to research and check out if you want to read where the source material that inspired these movies are coming from. So in this first episode, we're going to talk about Aquaman. Aquaman's been out for a little while now. I decided that I was going to do this way sooner, but just getting around to it now. So I do apologize for the timing of this episode. But again, I'll be prompt and diligent. We'll have an episode coming up for Captain Marvel, for Avengers, and so on and so forth moving forward. Again, like this is going to be a new series to the YouTube channel moving forward. So for Aquaman, a lot of the material after seeing the movie, and we learned right before the movie, a lot of the source material came from Jeff Johns' New 52 run on Aquaman, which was a phenomenal run if you haven't had a chance to read it. A lot of the core elements of the movie stemmed from his run on the book. Omnibus was released right before the movie came out, based on this fact, which is Aquaman by Jeff Johns Omnibus. You could pretty much find it. It retails for about $75. It includes Aquaman issues 0 through 19, issues 21 through 25, 23.1, issues 23.2, and Justice League issues 15 through 17. So this is a massive book. I should have a picture here displaying said cover so you can see what book that I'm talking about. Next, we have Peter David, that was one of the writers that really fleshed out the Arthur Curry character. In the late 80s, early 90s, he had an epic run on Aquaman that really reshaped that character. They have 2 books by him. That recently been collected for the build up for the movie. They really start collecting back in before this point. You only could really find Peter David's run through the individual issues or a lot of the trades that were out of print. But with the movie coming out, a lot of this stuff was repackaged and recollected in an easier, more accessible way. So you have Aquaman by Peter David, book 1, which retails roughly for about $20. It has Aquaman Time and Tide, which is a limited series that he did on Aquaman, issues 1 through 4, and the first about 9 issues of his Aquaman run, which is Aquaman issues 0 through issue 8. I will try to put links down below where you can find these books if you're definitely wanting to pick them up and check those out. I'll try to put the link for digital copies as well as links to buy it digitally, as well as links to buy it online through the different sites that I mentioned, In Stock Trades, Amazon, etc., etc. Also, Aquaman by Peter David, book 2, which picks up from where the first book left off, and is Aquaman issues 9 through 20 and annual 1. I think they've only done the 2 books, but those are really were a lot of inspiration for Aquaman that really cemented the character. Like I said, a lot of the movies based off of Jeff Johns Omnibus, so that's a definite must read if you really, especially if you've already seen Aquaman and you really enjoyed it. You want to read the source material where they go in a little bit more detail in certain plot lines that were just glanced over in the actual movie through the comic. It's definitely worth picking up. I have those individual issues, and it was a great run of Aquaman done by Jeff Johns. And also Peter David, like I said, they really cemented the character and brought him into the modern age, those two books as well are worth picking up if you're Aquaman, if you find yourself being an Aquaman fan from the movies, and want to read more in the character and his history in comics. Those two books are definitely worth picking up as well. So again, you should see the covers all here. I'll have links down below to help you find those books if you're interested. And like I said, this is first in the new series that I'll be doing. So we'll have an episode coming up spotlighting some stories for you to pick up on Captain Marvel as we're getting a little bit closer to that movie coming out in March. So we're only a few weeks away from that as well. So that episode will be coming shortly to this new series called Recommended Reads. I hope you enjoyed. Let me know below by hitting the thumbs up. If you're new to the channel and you haven't already, please subscribe. Also, hit the little bell notification down below to let you know whenever I drop new content on the channel. And don't be afraid to leave a comment down below if you have any questions, if you felt like I left something out, or if it's a particular character that you want me to cover on an upcoming episode of Recommended Reads. Let me know down below. I always respond to the comments, and I will let you know. Again, I'm doing this series for you guys to help give you some recommendations on some books to read. So if it's something that I haven't touched on that you want me to cover, let me know. Or if it's more Aquaman stories that you think are worthwhile to recommend to people, also put that down below in the comments. We have a great community here, so they always are looking to participate. So become a part of that community. Again, thumbs up the video. I'm your host, James Harris. This is the Comic Book Savant YouTube channel. Hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you next time in the next video. Until then, take care.